Good morning. It's Pastor James Reese from Heaven's Light Ministries in Winsboro, South Carolina. I hope you're having a great day. Matthew 14:22 is one of my favorite miracles in the Bible. Of course, they're all my favorites, but you know what? I'm out on the water today, and I'm probably in about 35 feet of water right this minute. Not real deep. 200 feet just beyond over this direction. But while I'm out in creation, I'm experiencing many of the things that some of the disciples experienced, except they walked with Jesus. You know, one particular day there was this time they had been together ministering, and Jesus told them later in the evening, he says, I want you to get in the boat, go across to the other side, and I'll catch up with you over there. Well, somewhere around dawn that next morning, it must have been a long trip across, but there was a tempest, the Bible says. And it says that, I don't know if you know about a tempest out here on the water. I know on Lake Murray, 535 miles of shoreline, when the tempest comes in, the weather gets bad, waves try to come up over the boat, you're rocking and rolling, you can't hardly steer the boat. Well, these fellas didn't have power engines like this big Suzuki behind me here, but they were actually tossed about. They looked out and they saw an apparition. They thought it was an apparition. They said, oh my goodness, there's a ghost walking on the water. Mariners of that time knew, they had this saying, that if you see an apparition walking across the lake, that means you're going to die. Your ship's going down. It was an omen. So even the disciples should have known better, but they didn't. Anyway, that person was Jesus walking across the water in the midst of the storm. How about that? So what do you think Peter did? This is what I love. Peter, good old rough Peter, he called out to the Lord. He said, Lord, if that is you, bid me to come to you. Now, isn't that just awesome? Bid me to come to you. Why didn't Peter just jump out of the boat and run? He knew under his power, he had no power, no authority, and he certainly wasn't going to be able to do that. But he knew if Jesus would call upon him and just say, I bid you, come, then he could do anything. So Jesus said, come. And you know what Peter did? He stepped right over that edge, right into that water. Now, I want you to look at this right here. Now, if I step out into that water right now, it's liquid. I'm going down. But if Jesus says, you know what? Come to me, I'd step out of this boat in a skinny second and walk right across that water. But you know what Peter did? He was walking in the water and on top of the water, in the waves, the wind's blowing, and he's looking at Jesus. But what happened? In the process of this wonderful miracle, Peter took his eyes off the Lord. And he looked at the storm. He looked at the conditions. He looked at all the surrounding things that the five senses acknowledged as, ooh, not good. Instead of keeping his eyes on Jesus. And he went down. But you know what the good thing is? Even when he went down, Jesus reached down and pulled him up. And friend, that's for you and I today. Because that story right now will preach. I'm telling you right now, you, my friend, have taken your eyes off the Lord at some point in time. And I'm letting you know, He has a plan for you. He wants to reestablish you, get you started again, and get you re-engaged with the call of life that He's got for your life. So listen, you might have fallen in the water. You might have taken your eyes off of Him, but He's there to pull you up. Let's get engaged. Come on now. Let's work together. Time is short. Be encouraged today. Pastor Jim signing off. Till next time.